Ava says, new album this year. I'm skipping your question, Ava, because some things have to be kept a surprise. Alexia says, who's your biggest inspiration? Great question. I have a lot of different inspirations in many different areas. I'd say right now I'm very much into Rihanna as a performer, as an artist. Just she has this kind of confidence that's unspoken, and I love that. Lily says, Sabrina, what inspired you to write Evolution? I think that there are some things that write themselves, and Evolution was one of those things. It came very naturally at a time in my life where I was growing very quickly, and every song that's on the album came from something that I experienced or something that I thought you guys could relate to, and I wanted to have a little bit of every sort of style of music within it, so people that, you know, maybe don't like pop or don't really listen to pop could find an element in it that they were attracted to, and yeah, that was a long answer. Marissa says, what's my favorite candy and movie? Ooh, I'm not a huge fan of candy. I love chocolate, but as far as candy goes, it's got to be probably peanut M&Ms. I'm a big fan of peanut M&Ms. And my favorite movie, it's probably either Across the Universe or Midnight in Paris. Angelina says, how was my birthday in Paris? Oh, it was lovely. Thank you. Merci beaucoup, Angelina. No, it was magical. Like, as far as magical 18th birthday goes, when the clock struck midnight, I was staring at the sparkling Eiffel Tower. So it feels very much like a movie, and I kind of don't like talking about it because you're probably vomiting through the screen, but it was beautiful, so thank you. Desi says, what's your favorite animal? If I don't say my dog, he's going to be super mad. So my dog, Goodwin, is my favorite animal. Lisbeth says, what's my favorite song at the moment? Great question. My favorite song at the moment is, wow. This is really hard. There's so many that I love. I love Don't Kill My Vibe by Sigrid. It's a great song. And is it lame if I say my Tourmate song? Middle of the Night. That's like free promo for them, I guess. Middle of the Night with the Vamps is a great song. Who are my inspirations? I have many different inspirations. I would say a couple artists that I didn't mention before. I love the Beatles. I love Bruno Mars, Adele, and Christina Aguilera. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda as an overall inspiration. The most rewarding part of being on Girl Meets World. I think the knowledge you learn working on a television set with people that know so much more than you do is just kind of listening and observing and seeing how they act and how they treat people and getting to experience such a not normal way of growing up. But there was a lot of fun days and fun memories that we have on the set of the show. So thank you to everyone who watched. Kayla says, what is my greatest accomplishment? Well, Kayla, if I've experienced it already, then I might as well just stop. So I hope I haven't had it yet. But my greatest accomplishment thus far, I'd probably say, a couple things. Releasing, I guess, 2 studio albums at this point. Riding in a human hamster ball, because that's, honestly, that was always on my bucket list. And what else? Oh, I graduated high school. I kind of forgot to tell you guys that because it just happened. But yeah, I'm a high school graduate, so I made it. Thank you to all my teachers. Thank you. Shout out to Mrs. Hudock and Mrs. Satram. I'm going from kindergarten through 1st grade, and Mrs. Costa, all of them, up to when I was homeschooled. And then robots for my teachers. Wesley, my man, Frankie, all of them. I'm just giving a bunch of shout outs. Kate, I love you guys. You guys are my people. Mwah. Martin says, what is my favorite song? Martin, we just went over this. It's really hard. There's a lot of songs in the world. But one of my favorite songs of all time is probably, there's a couple. I'd say Bohemian Rhapsody, Dancing Queen by ABBA. You Make My Dreams Come True by Hall & Oates. Rocky Raccoon by the Beatles. And Every Song on Evolution by Sabrina, Carpenter. Bye. Okay, Angelina, how's the tour going? Tour has been so incredible. We get to play on these awesome stages every night, and I have a few shows coming up for the Evolution tour, and those are going to be very exciting. And it's been a new kind of feeling every single night, getting to play to a bunch of new people and new faces. It's lovely. Ariba says, are you working on some new projects? Like, I mean a song. That was very sassy. Yeah, duh, Ariba. Lorraine says, favorite song from Evolution. There's a few obvious favorites. I think they were all a favorite at one point, which is why they're on the album. But I think Feels Like Loneliness is one that I will always be one of my favorites, just because it had this, it was kind of like the perfect mixture of old school and new school. We got to mix like a little bit of this like feeling of jazz with pop and with something that felt a little bit more urban at the same time. So I love that song, and it was actually the quickest song to write on the album. We wrote in about 2 hours, so it felt very natural. My favorite thing that I did for my birthday, I posted a video on Instagram, but I just like ate a baguette all day, and that was exciting. Which song is the most fun to perform? Thumbs is one of my favorites to perform because everyone gets involved and everyone is jumping, and there's a lot of energy. And if you don't know what it's about, then by the time you're done hearing it for the first time, you're kind of confused, and I like leaving people in a state of confusion. Crystal says, what's one thing people probably don't know about you? One thing people probably don't know about me is this is such a hard question. It's so broad. Well, if you're like just meeting me for the first time, I hate bananas. So I like how they look, like they're a beautiful fruit. I kind of like drawing them as well, but the taste of them, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna grow into my adult taste buds now that I'm 18, but as of right now, don't like bananas. Celine, this is actually a funny question. Celine says, are you the same person out of the camera? Actually, as soon as I get up, I'm a different person. So. Stephanie says, what was my favorite part about Paris? I was only there for a very short period of time, but the macaroons were really great. And the people, you guys were such an incredible crowd. I don't think I've ever heard that kind of just energy and excitement in a room, so I was very grateful. What is my favorite type of food? I love Mexican food. I could live off of chips and salsa and Mexican food. Michaela says, how's the tour bus life? Actually, Michaela, quick update for you. The European tour bus is very cool for me because it's 2 stories instead of 1. And I have a bed in this one, which is really, really exciting for me because also it's very small. Because it's 2 levels, it's a little bit shorter, so all my bandmates have to crouch down and bend, but I'm perfect height, hobbit size, so I can fit right on it. Christiana says, have you been making a British accent a lot while you're there, and also how many has it offended? Are you guys offended by my British accent? No. Not really? Not really. Wait, give me something to say and I can nail it.
It's very British.
Very British. Well, it depends.
What for afternoon tea?
What for afternoon tea? Because I feel like we were talking about this, there's a lot of different British accents. There's a lot of different styles. But I've tried not to do it as much as it breaks my heart because I don't want to offend people. I think the hardest thing has been pronouncing the cities correctly when I run on stage because I don't know, that's the hardest thing. Carol says, what's my favorite Jonas Brothers song? Oh, well, I mean, Love Bug. Love Bug is a classic. Burnin' Up. Whew, I listen to that song and I'm burning up. That's a classic. And then, Good Night and Goodbye, which is kind of like an old one, but that song just like, as soon as that verse comes in, I'm like, oh! Oh, dang. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Leah says, are you coming back to TV? Yeah, no, I didn't leave. I didn't stop. I'm on tour right now, so I'm obviously working on meeting as many of you guys as I can, and hopefully I get to see you guys at some shows. But I'm also working on both ends of things. So that's all I'm going to say about that right now. Joanna says, are you going to have backup dancers? Please say yes. I get the feeling that you want to be a backup dancer, Joanna, and if so, send me your resume. Delary says, why are you so cute? I don't know. Adam says, hello, when's your next movie coming out? Any insights on the movie? I can't say these things, Adam, but let's say soon. Kristen says, where do you get inspiration to write songs? I get it from a lot of different things. I get it obviously from my life, but I also get it a lot from you guys. You guys are kind of the main inspiration for why I want to make music in the first place, because I know that it could maybe possibly somewhere in the world help someone or inspire someone to follow through with their dreams. So that's that answer. What are some of your favorite books apart from Alice in Wonderland, in parentheses, I Know You? Phoebe, I know you too, of course. So my favorite books, I actually just got some French poetry books when I was in France, so I've been reading those and I love them. And my favorite book of all time is Looking for Alaska. But yeah, you're right, I like the Alice in Wonderland book, so you win, Phoebe. It's not a competition. Bar, your name is Bar. That's really cool. Best thing you ate in Europe? Chips. Chips, which are French fries, in case you're in America. Tanzia says, what's your favorite drink? You know, there's a thrill and a sensation that comes with drinking water that I just can't describe. Timothy says, hi, you write awesome lyrics. Any simple tips on songwriting as a fellow musician? Hi, Timothy. Thank you very much. Songwriting tips, I would probably say, are to not limit your thoughts at all. I'd say write everything down because you can find something within everything you write. And practice makes perfect. I think the more that you experiment and aren't afraid, because there's no formula when it comes to songwriting, the better off you'll be. And last question, since when do you know Alex Iono? I've known Alex Iono for a little bit now. We've met, I want to say a little bit over a year ago, but he's so incredibly talented. For those of you who don't know, he's coming on my summer detour with me, as well as New Hope Club, who I've been touring with out here. And so I'm very excited for you guys to see the tour because they bring such a special element to it, and I know you guys are gonna love them. And I can't wait to see you guys on tour. That's all the time for questions that I have, but thank you guys so much for tuning in, especially if it's early or late or wherever you are in the world. I love you so much, and I hope I didn't bore you to death. And I can't wait to see you guys soon. I'm working on getting everywhere, but as of right now, I'll see you guys on the rest of this tour. I'll see you on the detour, and I'm gonna go eat dinner. Bye.